Hey guys, for our lesson today, we are looking at Everyday Math, lesson 4.6, Perimeter. So today when you are doing your activities, you will be doing this brain pop video, doing this EdPuzzle. Then you will watch a brain pop video on perimeter. Then you will complete the home link, and finally you're going to do a flip grid. So your objective for today is I can find the perimeter of polygons, and I can use a sentence frame to explain the steps for finding the perimeter of a polygon in a flip grid. So I want you to solve these problems in your head. Don't try to put them on a piece of paper or anything, just solve them in your head. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. You should have answered 20. There are 4 5s, so you could add 5 plus 5 is 10. Another 5 plus 5 is 10, and then you would add 10 plus 10 to get 20. 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6. You should have chosen 20. For this one, I like to group numbers that will equal 10. So 4 plus 6 makes 10. Another 4 plus 6 makes 10, so I'm going to add 10 plus 10, and that equals 20. 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus 7, those added together answered 20 as well. 3 plus 7 makes 10. 3 plus 7 is 10, so we add 10 plus 10, and that equals 20. One a little bit more difficult. What is the sum of these numbers? You should have chosen 40. I would not have added 18 plus 18 because that's a little bit too big, but I can add 18 plus 2, and that gets 20. And then I have another 18 plus 2, and that equals 20. So 20 plus 20 equals 40. So what we're going to be doing today is adding groups of numbers. Most of our numbers that we will be adding will have 4 digits, and so thinking of using a strategy like this where you're making sets of 10 could help you to solve or to add these problems a little bit easier. So trying to make groups of 10. All right, looking at our shapes. Which of these shapes are quadrilaterals? You should have chosen 2, 3, and 4. They are all quadrilaterals. They have 4 sides. Number 2 is a square, 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. Number 3 is a rhombus. It also has 4 equal sides. And number 4 is a trapezoid. It has 4 sides. So today we're going to be looking at measuring polygons. All of these are polygons because they have 3 or more sides. Their sides are straight, and they are closed figures. We're going to be kind of focusing on quadrilaterals, but we can find the perimeter of all of these shapes. So you're probably asking yourself, what is perimeter? Well, perimeter is the distance around a shape's face. It is kind of thinking about walking around the outside of the shape and finding out how long it is. When we are measuring perimeter, we're going to make sure that we include our unit. So perimeter is measuring the length. We measure the length in units like inches or feet, centimeters or meters. We could measure in miles. So we need to include that unit because if we're trying to find the measurement of our windows so that we can add curtains to our windows, and we find out that it is 6 feet wide, we want to make sure that we tell the store that we need curtains that are 6 feet wide. Because if I just go to them and say, hey, I need curtains that are 6 wide, they could give you 6 inches. They could give you 6 centimeters. Are you talking about 6 books wide? Are you talking about 6 horses wide? Like, you have to give the unit so that people understand what it is that you're measuring. Without the unit, we're not going to have equal measurements later. All right, so we are going to be looking at measuring polygons. And remember, I said that polygons are the distance around a shape. So I'm looking at going up this side, across this blue side, down, and then across again. This is the perimeter going all the way around. So think about going all the way around a shape. Now, we're going to need to be able to keep track of all of these sides. This shape is a rectangle. It has 4 sides. So I'm going to be able to measure and then write my measurements off to the side. So this rectangle starts out, the ruler is at the edge. It goes to about the 1 inch mark. So I'm just going to write a 1 off to the side. Now, I also need to know the perimeter of the long side, and then I need to know the measurement of the other side. When we have a rectangle and we know one side, then the other side is going to be the same length because rectangles have opposite sides that are equal. So if I know this side is 1, then I know this side is 1. Now I need to find the measurement of the long side. So I'm actually going to have to go back into my edit mode because I want to rotate my ruler so that I can measure the long side. And there we go. A little bit off, and it's upside down a little bit, but we'll make it work. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to go to the edge of my rectangle, and I can see that my ruler or my rectangle is about 3 inches. It's not to the 3 yet, but we're going to be measuring, and when we measure we say about 3 inches. So I know that my rectangle has short sides that are 1 inch, and I know that this side is 3 inches and this side is 3 inches, so I can find my perimeter. When I find perimeter, I'm going to add them together. 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. So I've got 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. And when I add those together, I like to group my numbers together. That's 4. Here's another 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. Now, part of your objective is not only to find the perimeter, but to also use the sentence frame to explain how we measured it. So, the perimeter of my polygon is, we just found out it is 8 inches, because the side lengths are 1, 3, 1, and 3. And we added the lengths of those sides. So we added the lengths. We're going to measure another polygon. This polygon is not a quadrilateral, it is a triangle. So the same idea, we need to measure all the way around. This time we're going to have 3 measurements because I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. So looking at this shape, the triangle, and the ruler, I'm going to say the base or the bottom is about 2 inches. So my base or my bottom is about 2 inches. Now I need to go in and I need to move my ruler around so that I can measure the side. And so I'm going to flip it like this, and I'm going to match it up as much as I can. So this, I'm at that corner. I need to rotate it. I rotated a little bit too much, so I'm going to go back. Not quite that much. Let's move it down. Okay, so pretty close. All right, so my ruler is at that corner. My triangle goes all the way up to this mark up here. And this is actually close to the 2.5. So right here is the half. So I can see I have a half here. I have a half here. And I have the half right between the 2 and the 3. So this length is actually 2.5. Now I'm going to need to measure the other side. And so I'm going to take my ruler and kind of drag it over a little bit. I'm going to flip it a little bit more so that I have it. It wants me to keep grabbing that text box and not my ruler. There we go. So on this ruler, I'm moving everything all over the place. All right, there we go. So this one, remember we said that we have our half marks? So here's a half, here's a half, and here's a half. Well, the triangle goes about to the 2.5. So when I go to measure this, it is going to be about 2.5 on this side as well. So let's go back into the presentation, and I'm going to mark my inches down. So this was 2, this was 2.5, and this one was 2.5. So I'm going to add up all of the whole numbers. So I'm going to add up 2 plus this 2 plus this 2, and I know that that equals 6, but then I have a half and a half, and 2 halves make a whole, so I'm going to add another whole to make 7. So the area of this triangle or this polygon is 7 inches. So when I go to write it in my sentence frame, the perimeter of my polygon is 7 inches because the lengths are 2, 2.5, and 2.5. And I added those lengths together, added the sides together. So what we're going to do next is we are going to look in your math journal at page 114. And you're actually going to need your home link as well. All right, so we're going to go in our home link, and we're going to use one of the rulers in our home link to help us out. So this is actually the page that we're going to be doing for our home link, but I want you guys to use this ruler. So you're going to find home link 4.6. It'll say home link 4.6 at the top, and the page number is 109. So we're going to go to page 109, and actually we're going to be cutting out the ruler on page 110. Now, you don't have to cut out this whole page or tear out this whole page, but I do want you to cut out the ruler. So I'm just taking my scissors, and I'm cutting up the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just don't want to cut into the numbers. And then once I have it cut off, I'm just going to cut along the bottom as well so that I now have my ruler. Now, I don't need my home page or my home link after this. So you're going to cut out this page. It is page 110. And what you're left with is your ruler. Now, the next step that I want to do is to mark the half inches on my ruler, just like we have done in the past. So I already have 1/2 here, so I'm going to go, here's 1, here's 2. Right in the middle is going to be 1.5. So I'm going to mark that in a different color. I think I'm going to use my red marker. So halfway between 2 and 3 is right here. So I'm making my half mark there, my half mark there, my half mark between the 4 and the 5, and then my half mark between the 5 and the 6. So you are going to mark your ruler as well. Now that you have your ruler all marked up, you are going to turn into your math journal. So your math journal 1 to page 114. So this is page 114. And we are going to be measuring the sides of each polygon to the nearest ½ inch. So that is why I wanted you guys to make your rulers ½ inch marks so that you know. Then it says use the side lengths to find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is going around. And then write a number sentence to show how you found the perimeter. So for problem 1, you are going to start the 0 on the edge of the line and measure out. Remember what we said about keeping track of your numbers? Write it in your triangle. This is 3 inches. I'm going to measure the other side. This is also about 3 inches. And then I'm going to measure this side over here. It's about 1 inches. Thankfully, we didn't have any half inches, but we're going to write our number sentence. Our number sentence is all of the sides added together. So we're going to have 1 plus 3 plus 3. And I'm going to put equals P for perimeter. When I add those together, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. The perimeter of number 1 is 7 inches. It already tells us what unit we're using. Okay, number 2, we're going to go with it. How long is this side of number 2? You should have said that it was 3 inches. How long is this side? It is about 3 inches as well. This side is about how long? You should have said 2 inches. All right, my number sentence, what's it going to be? You should have said 2 plus 3 plus 3 equals perimeter, the P for perimeter. When I add that together, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. This triangle has a perimeter of 8. All right, what's the perimeter of the short side of this rectangle? Is 1. So what does that mean this side will be? You should have said 1. Let's check the bottom. The bottom is about 3 inches. So what does that mean for the top? 3 inches as well. So my number sentence will be 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. Sorry, I forgot to write my 1. 1 plus 3, and then I did 3 plus 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 plus 4 equals 8. All right, I want you to measure number 4 on your own. Write the number sentence, and then write the perimeter on your own. Oh, this one's difficult. So this was about 2.5. So that means up here will be 2.5. This side is 1. So this side will be 1. My number sentence will be 1 plus 2.5 plus 1 plus 2.5 equals P. When I add them together, I can add my whole numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. But then I have these halves, and that's another whole, so we get 7 whole inches. All right, this one says, draw each shape on the centimeter grid. This one's a little bit difficult. We have to have a square with the perimeter of 16. Well, here's what I know. Squares have equal sides. And if I'm thinking about my multiplication in my square numbers, I know that 16 is a square number, so that's going to help me out a lot. So if I drew a 2 by 2, that's only 4. If I drew a 3 by 3, that's only 9. But if I draw a 4 by 4 square, that is going to be 16. So my square to have a perimeter of 16 will be a 4 by 4. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, I need to keep going down to the bottom. All the way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. When I add these together, 4 plus 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8 again. 8 plus 8 is 16. All right, now I need a rectangle of 20 centimeters. So I know that I have to have something plus something plus something plus something, because it's a rectangle, equals 20. So I have to have 4 sides. That's why I have 4 blanks. And I am thinking about how I could get 20. And they have to be equal. So I know if I think about splitting this in the middle, I'm going to have 10 over here and 10 over here. And I want to think about ways to make 10. One way that I could make 10 would be if I did 4 and 6. So I think if I did 4 plus 6, that's 10, and then 4 plus 6, that's another 10 to get 20. So my rectangle is going to be a 4 by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need to go over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then if I have 4 on that side, then this side will be 4. And then over here will be 6. All right. This is a rectangle with a perimeter of 20. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. So for today, you are going to work on your independent activities by looking and watching the perimeter brain pop video. Then you are going to go to the home link. Remember, you just cut out the page. Remember, it is a front to back. And finally, you are going to do a flip grid with the directions are on the page so that you know how to use the sentence frame and explain how to find the perimeter of a polygon.